Hello everyone and welcome back to the 101st episode of PandTha Talks.
We're back at the first.
Yeah, I know. I mean, at least we can add, two other numbers before that.
Yeah, two. Not one, two. That's crazy.
Yeah, that still feels insane that we're at triple digits. Still can't get
Yep.
my head around that.
Here we
And,
go, wrapping around again for another hundo, though.
oh yeah, and as the channel turned 2 years old, I aged myself, which is insane.
You're still a little baba.
Everyone's trying to say the opposite, honestly.
Well, to me,
All
you
good
are.
fun. Oh yeah, just 'cause what, like 2-3 months? Fuck off.
Just over 2 months. What is it? The 18th?
Yeah.
I remembered the date.
Yeah, you've done better than some of my friends, yeah.
I'm actually surprised I remembered the date there now. To be honest, you know what I'm like with remembering stuff like that.
Oh, fucking same.
As was proven. Not calling
Yes.
myself out.
No, not at all. But we have an interesting week this week. There's a lot that's basically gone off. I watched that Xbox showcase.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
It was pretty mediocre, to be honest with you. There were some
Hmm.
good bits, but nothing major. The stream that we watched last year, in I think it was about August, September time, that was
Hmm.
much better. That's the style that I think we are better off covering because you just get a lot more
Yeah.
information and it's a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, that
Um,
was a pretty good showcase that we watched that day too.
oh, 100%. It was an absolute blast and really enjoyable to react to as things were going on. So much happening. Fantastic. But this week we're going to cover something to do with modding a little about Steam Decks. I thought this would be pretty interesting.
I guess.
Um, Xbox boss says brand identity is evolving in response to fan concerns over multi-platform feature. This doesn't shock me in the slightest. The Stardew Valley
Stardew Valley.
creator says he doesn't want to definitively close the book on its development even 12 years on.
12 years. Is that how old that game is now?
Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah, it's absolutely mental. Video Game History Foundation's long-awaited digital library will be available next week, which I'm excited to see about. Epic unveils bold plan to pay penalties levied by Apple to tempt developers onto its mobile store. Because, as we all
Hmm.
know, we covered this a while ago. Epic had a major issue with Apple due to them basically kicking them off the platform for Fortnite. Due to something to do with, I think it was basically, they didn't put in app purchases through Apple themselves and did it through their own system, which was against TOS. And they tried taking Apple to court for it multiple times.
TOS this, TOS that. Money,
Yup,
money, money. That's all they're after.
exactly, sir. Fortnite has 58 creators that got paid over $1 million in 2024, and 7 of those made over 10 million.
Oh
Uh,
my god.
I still can't get my head around that.
I Fortnite just has such an insane income because it appeals so much to children with all the bright colors and flashy characters and all that.
100%.
It's just insane the revenue that place brings in.
Oh, 100% it does. It's insanity, to be honest. A third of the industry shouldn't be making live service games. I'm not sure whether this is from a writer or a reader's feature, but it definitely seems more writer based. I'm very intrigued though to see what he's got to say on it.
Mm.
Doom: The Dark Ages addresses lack of multiplayer. I did see some footage of that on the day of the showcase that they did, and it actually looks really good. They seem to have done pretty well with that. I thought these last two articles would be amusing to cover. Is
I'm
your
already
PC?
amused.
Oh yeah, is your PC ready for Assassin's Creed Shadows? PC system requirements released, and Assassin's Creed Shadows DLC details revealed. I
So they
had
can't
to,
even get the game out in time, but they're revealing DLC details.
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And considering like they already know they want to do this before this has even been published, these are the type of DLCs that kind of irritate me because they're clearly just splitting off content that was originally meant to be in the game. If you go and complete a game and then go afterwards and go, we want to add more to this, and then develop a DLC that's like 10 to 15 hours long or whatever, fine. I have no issue with you doing that. But if you're going to do what Ubisoft are doing here, where they've released a game, they're going to have released a game, and they already are telling us, yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows DLC is going to provide about 10 hours of new content, including a new region and weapon type.
You know, Roy,
Why?
correct me if I'm wrong, but this sounds very familiar, and I'm pretty sure we have talked about this sort of thing
We
before,
have.
where we're getting games that are released in, and I say this in quotation marks, early access, as in the devs just won't finish the game. The game is full of bugs and glitches and so on and so forth. And before any of that gets fixed, or even the main game gets finished, you're seeing DLCs released for £30 and upwards.
We have mentioned this quite a few times, yes. And
Like,
I feel
the
like I
main
still
games
hold
aren't
this
even getting finished, and we're looking at those. It's just
insanity, to put it lightly.
yeah. And at
Yeah.
this point, we're just going to be repeating ourselves. We are
Yeah.
repeating ourselves, to be honest.
To be fair, we are, yeah. It's literally just the issues that they keep falling back on, and that is the problem. But we'll get into this then, and we'll start off with something interesting to talk about. Because I've got to admit, I am a big fan of the Steam Deck. I think it's a good bit of kit. Just before we actually started the video side of this, on the stream bit, me and Will were talking about VR. And as we were discussing that, we were actually saying we do need a headset that is going to a VR headset that is going to be able to run PC games at the roughly the standard, just VR standalone, so you can run around like a lunatic.
That's going to
You're
be
not
a
worried.
powerful bit of tech, though.
Well, that's the
That's
reason.
definitely going to cost a pretty penny.
That's the reason for the Steam Deck. But what some people have decided, I'm going to read through this article because I've never actually come across these before, and I'm very intrigued. But they're called handheld. What is it? Steam Deck HQ. Non-Steam launchers hits 4.0 with new programs to install on Steam Deck, which I think is quite interesting. One of the beautiful things about the go on, sorry.
You know, I'm not the biggest fan of joysticks.
Yeah.
There's no precision in them,
100%.
and the mouse is just so much more comfortable to use and so much nicer. You have so much freedom on a keyboard as well, and PC in general just has freedom.
Oh, 100%.
But I do love the idea of Steam Deck, because the one thing that I already know you have definitely heard throughout your entire lifespan is, oh, but the PC is so much more expensive.
Yep.
Which nowadays it isn't, because consoles, especially next gen, I dread for the day we hear the prices of the next gen consoles. But also, there's stuff out there. There's stuff out there that you can get that is relatively cheap, that you can put together as a pretty decent bit of kit.
Yeah.
But even at that, not everyone knows or is comfortable or has the time and effort to build a PC. So just being able to get a Steam Deck and have just Steam in your pocket, which honestly sounds awesome,
Okay,
is perfect for people that want to play PC styled stuff, but not have to invest time, effort, or money to do it.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's the big thing. And I've been arguing, I think, for over the last year at this point, that buying a Steam Deck is a much better investment into PC gaming than if you bought, for example, a gaming laptop. It's more affordable. The performance, I'd argue, is better because some of it is more customized for the hardware of a Steam Deck. And you can even get the dock to use it as a gaming PC for that variation. It won't work as well as a gaming PC, or even at times as well as a gaming laptop, but it will run games better. So, but that is set for the Steam Deck's resolution.
The money you're paying for a gaming laptop versus a Steam Deck, it's already paying off. Especially if you want like a half decent gaming laptop, like those things are insane for when it comes to the price. And you can't really custom build something like that either to get it cheaper.
Oh, hell no. I mean, if I just go to gaming laptops here, I'm not going to go onto the main stuff. I'm just going to hit shopping on Google. And a lot of these aren't even... That can't be right.
Submit.
Oh, right, yeah, we're going to eBay and you buy. Right, I see. Websites you'd never go to for this sort of stuff. There we go. £550 refurbished.
It's
£630 brand new. Once again,
it's only a
some of
Ryzen
these,
5 on a 2050, which
yeah,
isn't
see,
great.
some of these places as well, I wouldn't trust. But
Yeah,
Amazon, £870.
yeah.
Overclockers, 530. Curry's, £900.
What a name for that fucking CPU. A 13620H. Like, what?
Yep.
Who comes up with these names, man?
I'd
The worst
love to
part is
know.
though, the worst part is though, is your specs for a laptop as well. Even if they're the same stuff that's in a PC, it's not the same stuff. It's worse.
Yeah, it's a little bit more downgraded. It
Yeah.
doesn't hit the same criteria and it doesn't run as well. You've got to take into account, obviously, there isn't as good cooling system within the laptop. You have to pretty much rely on them fans, and they're not very good. You're also going for smaller components so that they can fit in the laptop. So they're not going to be as powerful, stuff like that. It's a lot of fucking problems when it comes to
Yeah.
laptops.
They're just not worth. What a laptop is good for is like watching stuff and just doing like random crap on.
Yeah, I've got one like, and to be honest, it's occasionally used for researching stuff, and that's about it. I really
Yeah.
don't utilize it to its best potential. It's a gaming laptop as well. I think I spent about £900 on it about 4 or 5 years ago. It was expensive. It was for my other half actually to get her into PC gaming, and then quite literally that had specs that was stronger than this gaming PC that I had. Now it's probably about 9 years old. It's got on quite a bit. It's honestly awful. I can't remember half the specs in it. I think it's like an RX, a Radeon 840, something like that. It's a 4 gig GPU, crappy Intel i5 CPU, 16 gig of RAM, DDR3, I believe.
3.
Yeah,
Okay, we're going way back here, huh?
exactly. Now that device, even that outran this £900 laptop from like 5, 6 years ago. So I think it says a lot, really, to be honest with you. But the interest of this that I'm having is, as the title says here, the idea of launching not just Steam games through the Steam Deck, but from other platforms. So one of the beautiful things about the PC ecosystem is being able to get games from so many different locations. Some of these are different launchers like Steam, including GOG Galaxy, Epic Games, and many more. There are a plethora of ways to install it on the Steam Deck, but one of the easiest is non-Steam launchers. The easy-to-use script will automatically download and install any of the supported launchers that you want, and there are already tons on there. Today the script got a brand new update, and it adds in some nice new options to install stuff that we can use on the go. Now,
I've just thought of something whenever you were reading over that.
go for it.
There's one thing we've definitely talked about it once or twice, but not in much detail. And it's coming to the accessibility of a PC and the games that you have access to.
Yeah.
On when we go back to like the console is cheaper versus getting a decent PC, sure. But afterwards, now we've mentioned, as I said, we've mentioned this before, but when you have to pay for online to begin with, that racks up really quickly how much you're paying for that.
Oh yeah.
Then on top of that, because all the games you're playing are specific to your console majority of the time, you don't really get sales. And if it is a sale, it's like minimal off, you know?
The
Whereas
sales
if you look
still run.
at yeah, if you look at PC, there's so many ways to get games cheaper, and it's not like it's an illegal way, it's a legitimate way.
Yeah.
And again, that we've talked about before, indie games as well. There's so many indie games you can find that are very cheap that you can put hundreds of hours into, or just have it as a game you just go and play every now and then when you're a little bit bored and don't know what to do. There's just such a wider range, and when you add all that up together, the PC definitely
100%.
becomes a way cheaper option.
I mean, the way I actually thought you were going into that when you said accessibility, I thought you was actually going to discuss actual accessibility in that. So I would actually just like to mention that a little. Accessibility. You hear that basically consoles are great for people because obviously you can have customized controllers, all that sort of stuff. When it comes down to it, though, and this is the reason you'll see a lot of people who have certain disabilities will be using PC, because you can get peripheral inputs for games and things that will work only with a PC, because the consoles don't have the firmware or the applications just literally downloaded from a website. That's the only way you can get hold of it, stuff like that. Now, it's annoying to even have to say this. Some of the people that have these sort of applications and utilize them, or some of these peripherals and utilize them, cannot play multiplayer games. Do you know the reason?
Some church probably trying to say there's some unfair advantage involved.
Anti-cheat. Anti-cheat picks up the software as basically hacking. Some of them, anyways, not all of them. Some have been approved and got through as time's gone on. But yeah, it's definitely a bonus in the accessibility side of things. And even as you were saying, the accessibility in, can you get access to it easily? Is it a decent price to performance ratio? Is it going to be a decent investment? I'd argue yes across the board, but it really depends on what you're wanting. And that's something we've discussed many times over the years as well. It's what a person wants out of it. If you want to start streaming, you're going to want a PC. Now, whether you're going to be playing on the PC is a different story. Because to be honest with you, you can get a capture card and do it that way. But the amount of people I see drop the capture card pretty bloody quickly and just move to the PC overall, because all you need is a piece of software called OBS or something along those lines, and off you go.
Let's be honest, who wants to watch something that's on like 30 to 60 FPS?
Yeah, some people do have an issue with that.
That's just consoles, man.
A certain random panda in this call right now definitely has a problem with that.
Shut up, man. My PC is on the verge of death. All right, it's been heavily
on the verge
used.
of death for a while.
No, not really. It's been sketchy for a while, but only recently has it been very close to dying.
Oh dear.
The motherboard is.
Yeah, your motherboard is bloody questionable at best at the moment.
But honestly, the fact that it's working, I'll take it, man.
Oh, 100%. Take what you can get. So the NonSteamLauncher thing, the reason I'm kind of impressed by it, as we saw, they are definitely allowing the utilization of things such as Ubisoft Connect, EA Launcher, I forget what it's called now. You've got the GOG store and all that all thrown together. That's pretty ace. Then they're also adding extra scripts at the moment so that you can install, what was it I just saw up here? I'm pretty sure I just saw something along the lines of... No, I thought I saw itch.io or something along those lines. Boosteroid Cloud Gaming, so you can do cloud gaming on it. Stim.io, that's what I saw. Venge.io, RocketCrab.com, WatchParty.me. And then if I was to go back to that photo, for example, from earlier, I'm pretty certain that one said... Oh, nope. Reopen close tab, there we go. EA, Amazon Games, I'm not quite sure which that one is. Blizzard, GOG, Epic Games, EA again. That should be going actually this year. Rockstar, Indie Gala, Ubisoft Connect, and I'm not quite sure what that one is. Could be CD Projekt Red actually, not sure. But yeah, to even see that to be installed on a Steam Deck is insanity to me. Because a couple years ago, that wasn't even a thought. There we go. That's nicer. So yeah, really good to see. So, next topic, sir. Xbox boss, I think it's Phil Spencer, if I remember correctly, says brand I think so. It says brand identity is evolving in response to fan concerns of a multi-platform feature. I believe it's an identity that this industry needs. I'm completely with him. I fully agree with the idea of putting games onto different platforms so that everyone can play a game. We've argued this for a long time. Phil Spencer's identity is evolving. Now keeping first-party games exclusive to its own platform is no longer a path for Xbox. Good. That's what we want to see, to be honest. When asked by independent games journalist Dustin, I'm just going to call him Dustin, if, like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Starfield would continue to have an exclusivity window on Xbox systems, Spencer replied with a strikingly simple no. There is no reason for me to put a ring fence around any game and say this game will not go to a place where it would find players, where it would have a business success for us. Our strategy is to allow our games to be available. Game Pass is an important component of playing the games on our platform, but to keep games off other platforms, we don't think is the path. That's not a path for us. It doesn't work for us. Good. That's what we've wanted to hear for how long?
Too long. There's a lot of stuff we want to hear, Roy, and it's just we don't hear it.
Yeah, I know. It's very rare. What we're doing now, we think, really enables us to build the best platform for the world's best games. Because the world's biggest games are available in multiple places, and more creators are asking us, how do we stay connected when our game might be playable in all these different places? And we want Xbox to be absolutely the platform that enables that. I think that's a fair thing to fight for, actually. Okay, if you come to us, we'll put your game on XYZ platform. You don't have to manage them all individually. We'll manage it all for you. I think that sounds pretty fair. They're basically wanting to become like a mainstream publisher, and that's completely fine. We think that makes us unique. Most of the other platforms out there are single platform on single device, whether that's PC, whether that's mobile or console. And we want Xbox to be a platform that enables creators across any screen that people want to play on. When pressed on whether Xbox's change in strategy means it'll lose its identity, Spencer was firm about that too. I hear them. I'm pretty active in our player base and I'm active in the community. I listen, I think our identity will continue to evolve, which frankly it always has. But when I hear concerns about is my library of games safe? Am I still going to be able to play the games? And I think over the years, I'm proud of the commitment we've shown to respecting purchases on our platform through back compatibility, through cross entitlement, Xbox Play Anywhere, through crossplay, things that we've done to enable people to continue to play. So I hear that. That's a fair argument to make. At the end of the day, we don't want to be losing the games, even though they're stepping away from that idea. Being able to play a game anywhere and cross-platform, and as they've said themselves, cross-play, so you can play it literally on a device and just continue your save, is a fantastic idea. Losing progress...
That is lovely to hear, other than the stuff we were hearing a while back about we don't actually own any games and we can lose access to them at any moment.
Yeah, that's still a terrifying thought in the industry, to be honest with you.
I mean, we've obviously discussed it before.
Yeah,
it's like you know, we buy a license to it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we have rights to play it. Is that not how this world works?
That's how it all works now, pretty much. I see the investments we're making in platform and how we want Xbox to show up in multiple places and your library to be available there. When I think about the buy to stream, so if I buy a game, I'll be able to stream it to devices. This is all about making sure that your library of games that you own on Xbox are playable in multiple places. So I'd say it's an evolution of our identity, but I believe it's an identity that this industry needs. When you think about where this industry is now and you see the challenges, the business challenges that are out there for many companies, I think us making games more accessible to more people that just got has just got to be the front and center for us as an industry, so we continue to see great games that we've seen over the years. I do apologize. Had a bit of a tickle in my throat though. To be fair, I still think that's a good idea. I'm very intrigued to see how Xbox can pull that off. And as Will clearly pointed out as well, something does need to be done on the licensing side, because we now feel as though we can have our legs pulled out from under us at any given moment, and that is absolutely terrifying. So against that as a concept. But hopefully we can continue to see development, see games on more platforms, more players been playing them. It's a great idea, and it's what we've needed in the industry for such a long time now. So fingers crossed we can see some improvements there. Stardew Valley creator says he doesn't want to definitely close the book on its development even 12 years on. I will always have the desire to come back and maybe add a thing or two. Does that shock anyone with that guy?
No.
Yeah.
What can he even add at this point? I mean, I'm sure he's probably got something lined up. Bro.
Nuclear warfare, obviously. This is next big update.
Poison the plants and get rid of your competition. Appear.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, once again, though, one of the few games on Steam
insane
that can sit at 98% positive of 722,076 reviews. It's insanity.
What can you say that's wrong? Like, what are the negative reviews for this game?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that is a very good question.
What could you say that's negative about this game?
Let's go negative. 13,000 of them exist. Just not into this kind of game. Fair enough.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough. Not a fan, would rather play other farm-based games. I can see why people like it, just not for me.
So people are literally just saying, like, it's just not a kind of game that they like.
I should have bought Jerkmate Premium instead. Okay. Incredible game, absolutely deserves every ounce of praise it gets. What's wrong with this then?
That's lies. He's saying there aren't a lot of optimization options for gameplay. Like, and it's a slow-paced game. Has he not heard of YouTube?
I don't regret the 100 hours I've put into the game, but I never got past year 1 because of that itch. There has to be a better way to do that. I just simply couldn't shake it. To be fair, like, I never got past year 1 myself. That's because I've never really played it with someone else, so that's just how I am.
Yeah, solo, it's tough.
Yeah.
And the fact that if you play solo, you can't, like, lay in bed to regen energy. You just have to end the day or else eat food to regen.
Yeah.
It makes a massive difference.
I can imagine that, to be honest. I tried it for 50 hours. Relationship building is quite mechanical, essentially filling a meter by giving gifts. Yeah, obviously. Each character only has a limited set of... Okay. Bad game, can't sex Chromobus. Fair play, dude. The more I play, the more I hate the social mechanics. Time side quests also suck. Okay.
Like, there's going to be things that you aren't going to like about it, as with every game. But
this game is way too cute. Would not recommend. Spent all-nighters loving this game and finding everything it beholds. 10 out of 10 game. Would not play again.
I don't know. These negative reviews aren't even saying anything bad about the game. It's just people that don't like this kind of game.
It's that and just a little bit of like criticism on certain features, to be honest with you. That seems to be it. That and they want to have pixel sex.
Okay.
Yeah, very slow, chill game. Not for me.
Lead them to when I try to find VR games, and there's everything they ever wanted.
That's all VR games are.
I just don't search for VR games anymore.
Yeah, I know you don't. You just wait
I
for
just
me
don't.
to send you a message.
Yes, I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of it.
So yeah, I'll be honest. I think we've covered it in a shorter fucking time frame than what this article could. Because why wouldn't he want to go back and add things? It's pretty much like his first major success. I don't know whether it was his first ever game, but it definitely was. Will have been his first major success. He's
it's
done
just such a good
amazing.
game.
And honestly, I hope to see much, much more from him in the future with his the
Not that he
games he's
needs to
now
do much
moving on
more.
to. No, he's making more games, so I'm intrigued to see.
Interesting.
Video Game History Foundation's long-awaited digital library will be available next week. I'm intrigued by this. So, back in 2023, the Video Game History Foundation announced it was curating a digital library which would allow users to access its vast collection of magazines, art books, and more from the comfort of their homes. And while it didn't pop a date on when it would be available to the public at that time, it now has. It's apparently going to be releasing on the 30th of Jan. Good things come to those who wait, the team wrote, promising it would share further details close to the time. I am very intrigued by this because I just adore the idea of, like, actually seeing and accessing stuff like this and being able to look back at old gaming documents and stuff like that. It'll be crazy to actually have a look back. Also,
The
if
thing is,
shit ever
stuff like
gets
that
called
as
out.
well. Stuff like that as well. There's so much you don't know. Even though you think you know so much about it, you can always just find some random piece of information. You're like, what?
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for. There'll be things in the future where this will be a major thing to look back at. And it will definitely help a lot of people. So I'm very excited to see it, to be honest with you. Epic unveils bold plan to pay penalties levied by Apple to tempt developers onto its mobile store. It's uneconomical and will cause us to lose a lot of money, but we feel like we have to break the logjam. Once again, Epic agreeing to basically pay people to come over to their storefront. This has happened already. It's been done already. Now they're doing it on mobile.
Still need to know where Epic are getting money from, dude.
Tencent.
But there's just so much free stuff they release.
Tencent. That's it. I'll be honest with you. Because literally the way that I'll possibly need correcting on this, but from what I understand it to be, Epic pretty much, when they give a game away for free, they speak to the creator agrees to them that basically Epic will pay X amount for however many copies get redeemed for free. So basically, when you redeem a free game on Epic, you are costing Epic money.
Good.
I'm in agreement with that, yeah. That's my understanding of how it works. They then pay the creator X amount towards this. The creator then accepts that, off that goes.
To be completely honest, I don't really have a reason to have anything against Epic. I don't get how it functions.
No one does. They have this sort of like infinite cash, this infinite like amount of cash that's coming from nowhere.
They've got an infinite money glitch. Ban them.
Yeah, they really do. It's actually kind of baffling. The Epic Game Store for mobile will today add its first set of third-party games beyond the company's core offering of Fortnite, Fall Guys, and Rocket League Sideswipe. 19 titles have made today's lineup on Android, including Bloons Tower Defense 6, Dungeon of the Endless, a Pogue, which are first titles to be offered in the store's previously confirmed free games program. Shit, that means I'm going to be playing more Bloons Tower Defense if it's free. That's dangerous. I'm not sure whether this is a good idea.
Put way too much time into BTD, man. Way too much.
Way too true, mate. So, I'm just kind of reading through this quickly and just trying to figure out what it is that they're wanting to do here. Initially, Epic will offer 3 titles on a monthly basis, with this initial duo available until 20th February. A weekly schedule of 3 games will then kick in later this year, similar to the Epic Games Store itself. Epic has clearly found it difficult to tempt mobile developers to its storefront, which was originally set to welcome third-party games last year and reach 100 million installs by the end of 2024, but something fell short, only reaching 30 million instead. What a shock. The company admits none of the 100 highest-grossing app developers are yet willing to also distribute their game on the storefront, something it blames on Apple's controversial core technology fee policy. So let's have a look here. Epic to pay developers to counter Apple's insidious design. What is the CTF policy? In a nutshell, iOS developers who want to launch games outside of Apple's official App Store must pay I can't remember what it was, 0.5 euro for every install of its games, even via the App Store itself. After the company's first million installs, it's a policy Epic Games and others have criticised as prohibitive of any real competition for the App Store, as no major app developer will want to be penalised itself for launching elsewhere. That's going to be a bit brutal. So they've got to pay 0.5, so that's what, 500,000 euro they've got to pay. That's brutal.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, man.
That's just Apple being Apple, right? It's uneconomical and will cause us to lose a lot of money. But we feel like we have to break the logjam there. The CTF is an absolutely insidious design, deviously constructed and deviously defended, and it's the most critical thing the European regulators will need to overturn. We might run into serious financial problems after a couple more decades of this, but we're determined to fight this out. I expect large parts of this will struggle, will go on over the rest of the decade, but we're fully committed to it and breaking through. So yeah, they're pretty much using Fortnite funds and Tencent funds to survive. That just sounds like a dreadful idea. Apple and Google's paywall sees money going to fuck all. Yeah, that sounds about right. And they also did a CMA investigation, which is the UK's Competition and Marketing Authority. We spoke about them a lot during the Activision purchase, if you remember, because the UK was the one that denied it originally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that went so well.
Whatever made them change their mind?
Basically, Xbox agreed to certain criteria, like not blocking the games from being released on PlayStation, which is really funny now when you think about it, because Xbox has now turned around and gone, yeah, no games are going to be exclusives anymore on our platform. Fuck you.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of turning around and going, so why were you guys so stressed about this again? We're giving you more games than what you were originally going to get.
Yeah.
The fuck. So yeah, good luck to Epic. We already know they've got way too fucking much money, so whatever to them. But continuing, just to prove how much money they've got, Fortnite has 58 creators that got paid over $1 million in 2024, and 7 of those made over $10 million.
So, what, like over 100 mil? About 100 mil at least? Between just those creators?
Yeah. Yeah,
well
about 100.
Well over 100.
Oh yeah, well over 100.
49 make a mil and 7 of them make 10 mils. So that's 120, over 120.
Well, you got to think. 58 were paid. Sorry, take out the 7. So yeah, 51 were paid.
So 49
over 1
mil
million.
and 70 mil. So it's 120 mil basically.
Well, this is the thing. 51 of them were paid over $1 million, but they were paid under 10 million. So they were paid within that range gap. And 7 of them got paid over the 10 million range. So
Yep.
it's difficult to even get a grasp on how much they actually paid.
It's a minimum of 120, but the over 1 million could be anything over 1 million. Like something could be getting 5 mil. It's just insane to think about, man.
Oh wait, no, we've got a bit more of a gap actually down here that'll explain it better. So Epic has released a 2024 year in review for the Fortnite creator ecosystem, and surprise, surprise, there are a lot of big numbers to be had. I'm just going to check whether we actually have... Oh, we actually do have some details here. I'll come back to that in a second. Is this just going to be about those numbers? It literally is, yes. Okay, we'll just use this document then. Fuck that. So, by the numbers, creator success and growth. 2024 overview, 70k total creators, 198,000 total islands published. So, they paid out 352 million to creators.
Okay, we were quite far off.
5.2 billion hours played in creator-made islands. But this is the reason we were off. We were only told from this range. So we had 37 who made 1 million plus, so between 1 and 3 million. 14 3 million plus, so between 3 and 10 million. And 7 who was above 10 million. Which is insanity. But we had 12,909 who were paid over $100. 5,358 that were paid over $1,000. And it's the gaps between, because you never know where it's landing. 1,728 were paid over 10,000. 418 were paid over 100,000. And 154 were paid over 300,000. Which rounds up to a grand total of $352 million paid. That's insanity. Apparently,
just Fortnite.
It's up 11% when measuring March to December time periods between 2023 to 2024. So that's insanity.
You reckon?
Oh, just a bit.
Just a tad.
Yeah, just a little bit. In 2024, players spent over 5.23 billion hours playing games made by creators, a number that represents 36.5% of total Fortnite playtime and continues to rise. This marks a 5% increase from the 4.98 billion hours in 2023. These numbers are buoyed by meaningful growth in game genres that don't feature combat, like social roleplay, party games, death runs, and horror. So far in January 2025, this type of content has been up more than 30%. So it has made up more than 30% of time spent in creator-made experiences, an increase of nearly 50% from the same time period last year. That's insanity.
As crazy as their numbers are, what I would love to get information on is fucking their revenue.
Yeah.
Like the amount of money that Fortnite brings in is unreal.
I wonder if there is one actually. Let me just go down here quickly and we can... nothing there. Okay. Let's have a look. With Fortnite re-accelerating at the end of 2023 and into 2024, however, Saga estimates that Epic Games is on track to grow revenue by 30% in 2024 to $5.7 billion in revenue. That's just some guessing, some guess game by Saga, so there's nothing concrete.
I mean, they'll probably do their best to not reveal stuff like that. Because if people were to hear the actual numbers, it's just your eyes are gonna pop out of your head.
Oh, 100%. It's insanity, though. It always makes me really interested. Oh wait, I think we've got some here. Statistic for 2025, top highlights. Fortnite has over 650 million registered players, has over 110 million monthly active players. Fortnite has generated a revenue of $40 billion to date. Over $20 billion worth of revenue came from 2022 alone. Fortnite has 81.1k concurrent viewers and 7.7 concurrent on Twitch.
They're fucking dying.
The platform has over 60 million daily active users worldwide. The United States has the most number of Fortnite players, accounting for 21.64% of the total player count. 62.7% are aged 18 to 24, and 89.7% of Fortnite players are male.
No, that's fake numbers. Gamer girls don't exist. This is
Sorry,
common
can't associate
knowledge.
with females.
Yeah, don't know what they are, man.
Never heard of them. Fortnite monthly player count. Yep. But what we care about here is income. Damn. 69% are on console, 46% on smartphone, and 28% on PC. Streaming stats, 165.5 million. So this doesn't even give us the full stats of 2024, that's why. So we'll have to wait a bit longer, I think, into the year to get the full stats for 2024. But it's what it is. So, a third of the industry shouldn't be making live service games. I'm completely in agreement with that. I think we should go back to the old style of just make single player games or co-op games for friends and fuck off.
I'm all for live service games in a small portion.
In moderation.
There's some that are really good. Like I play way too much Rust. It's a cool concept other than the player base, which is the problem with a lot of games, Fortnite being an example.
You play too much
And
Rust? Never.
And I used to enjoy Apex, but that's just one of those games that became, I'm gonna win $1 million if I win this match, so I gotta try as hard as I possibly can.
Never will. Never played too much Rust, you? Ha 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 ha.
I mean,
The
fact that my last two
hours.
play games that you can see out of the three is almost 6K and like what 2.5K on 7 days.
Yeah, man.
Spent a little bit of time doing some things, you know.
Just a little bit. I've not even got 1,000 hours in any game as of yet.
I
It's
don't want to
insanity,
talk
I
about
think.
Bloons Tower Defense 5 and 6. I didn't play much on my Steam because of the time I was playing those games, but I've definitely got way too many hours on those as well.
Yeah, fair play.
5 especially back in the day, especially school days, man.
Oh yeah.
Especially school days. Oh my goodness.
Most live service games fail, so it seems untenable that per a recent survey conducted by the GDC, 1/3 of AAA developers are currently working on a live service game.
Bless you, sir.
Thank you. Worst time in the world.
We saw a perfect example last year that doesn't even need to be named. Live service games are not the way to go. Some of them have blown up, yeah, but it's complete chance. Like so many have burnt, some way faster than others.
Yeah, I mean, prime example of this actually. It was stated by Warframe themselves how they literally had to throw the last of their money to give Warframe a fighting chance, and they got lucky at that chance. They really were extremely lucky. But they had to go months without being able to properly pay people and all sorts. And they took the chance, and for them it paid off. But as they said themselves, for 90% of people it would not. And that's what it is.
Well, that's the thing though. Nowadays we don't see that. We don't see company taking a risk and people in the company taking a risk and basically probably getting like little to no pay and still working on the game. Now it's just you're fired.
Yeah.
Huge cuts, massive percentages of companies gone.
100%.
Because the company might lose a couple quid.
Yeah. Exactly that, to be honest.
We don't see that anymore.
No. We remember the success because the nature of the game as a service business model means that that the hit sticks around for years after launch. But for every Apex legend that breaks out with a fresh take on multiplayer, there are many more Suicide Squads, Redfalls, and Concords that never find an audience. And that's not even taking into account games like Radical Heights and The Last of Us 2 Factions that die on the vine before reaching full release. And this is very true. Naughty Dog never released The Last of Us multiplayer project. It was stated to happen, but never happened and never came to be a thing. A God of War live service game was an unannounced Bend Studios multiplayer title, getting canned recently. That all followed in the wake of Concord.
I don't get some of these titles we're hearing. These games are not meant for PvP.
No.
There's not really any what live service games do you know of that aren't PvP? Like what actually is there?
Non-live service PvP game. Sorry, a live service non-PvP game.
Yeah.
Let's go PvE only. Destiny 2, but that has PvP in it.
Yeah, and it also went under a long time ago.
Yeah, well, we'll not talk about that, shall we? That's the issue. Most of these games will have a mode where you go PvP. Yeah. Guaranteed.
And it's just like, that's not what these games are meant to be, man.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. I think it really depends on the player base.
Yeah. So these games, pretty much fair to say, not PvP games. God of War. What?
It's story based.
Yeah, literally. And that's what they've always been. And they've thrived and succeeded in that situation. What are you doing trying to make it a PvP game? You're branching out to something that is just not going to work.
That is actually one.
Oh, forgot about that. That's a live service, really?
Apparently.
That was like another kind of Left 4 Dead, wasn't it?
Yeah, it died very quickly.
Oh, well, then that's not really an example then, is it?
No. Payday 2.
Is it live service? Like, you kind of host it?
Like,
you kind of host it on your connection, though, no?
It doesn't really matter because there's like so many live elements to it and constantly being updated and changed and season systems and all that
I guess, yeah, that's fair, yeah. Okay, I can get behind that one.
Black Ops 6 Zombies.
Okay, that doesn't count. That's just Call of Duty being idiots. I don't know why they're not hosted on player connections, and it's caused so many issues for that game.
Yeah.
Helldivers 2, yeah. But Helldivers 2 has probably been the best example of a live service game done right.
Yeah, it really has.
Other than Sony trying to absolutely fucking annihilate the game at every turn.
They've got a very bad habit of that, yes.
I just got nothing.
The issue is there's so many games like this. I mean, you've seen X Defiant, that's died in recent months. Anything Ubisoft does lately is dying, to be fair. Black Ops 6, it's doing okay for itself. That's only because it's got the Call of Duty name behind it. But why would you take a single-player game or a single-player idea? Like, actually, pretty good example as this guy's going on about here. South Park, The Fractured Butthole. The South Park games in general. They're good games. They're good single-player systems. Good stories.
They've made a name for themselves, that's for sure.
Yeah. The new one is fucking daft. I would not recommend it. It's 4-player co-op, and they changed the combat system and everything. Took all the humor out, according to a lot of the reviews as well.
Which is what South Park is known for, but sure, let's just remove its main element, why not?
Exactly that. Now, it depends on the focus, really. That doesn't come under live service, sadly, so I can't use that as an example, but
they're still trying to change the game to something it's not, though, and that's I feel like the main point we're going for here.
Yeah, to be fair. Yeah, that is a very fair point.
Not that they're changing it to a live service, but 99.9% of live service games are PvP. And the point we're getting at there is the games they're making into a live service game are not games that should be PvP.
But to be fair, I need to actually just quickly. But let's define it before we go on here. So, games as a service in the video game industry. Games as a service represents providing video games or game content on a continuing revenue model, similar to software as a service. Games as a service are ways to monetize video games either after their initial sale or to support a free-to-play model. So in other words, technically, I suppose you can go by saying anything that that has like skins, shit like that. That system would be games as a service because you're giving ways to pay afterwards, and you're basically paying for extra stuff. Shit like that. That's pretty much live service games, and it's insanity. And
Me personally, a live service game is
the definition's been changed over time.
I wouldn't. That's not how I would explain a live service game to someone. Sure, they're
Okay.
full of microtransactions, absolutely. Sure, there's a lot of stuff you can pay for, but majority of the time, you either pay for the game and everything else, base game wise, not like microtransactions and DLCs you're paying for. Typically free. Typically free updates. That's the whole point of a live service game. You're updating the game on a regular basis, and it's hosted on their servers. There's no peer-to-peer connection. It's all going to be connecting to the server. That's my personal view on it. All the shit you're paying for this and paying for that, I couldn't care. I pay for no microtransactions pretty much, except Rust and when I'm buying skins. And even at that,
tons of cash on Rust.
Even on that, man, I haven't bought anything in ages, and there's no need. There was some really cool stuff, some nice stuff. If you like it, as I've said before, if you like the stuff that you see, this cosmetics, go for it. You know, you're playing a video game. May as well enjoy it.
So what I'm going to ask here, for people to answer, to be honest with you, because I don't feel like we can do this point well by ourselves with this. I think we need a clear-cut definition on what we're classifying as a live service game at this point. Because
I would like to hear other people's opinion on it, definitely. I'd like to hear their explanation of how they would describe a live service game to someone who doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, I would really like to hear that because I think we've all got very differing opinions on what we classify as live service games. I mean, even that description I just read sounded very different to what I'd classify as.
Yeah.
So I'm very intrigued to see on that one. But we'll leave that topic then for a bit longer, and we'll see next week. We'll come back to it, cover it then in a bit more detail. So we'll quickly cover Doom the Dark Ages. They've addressed apparently the lack of multiplayer, the reason being, and I can't fault them for this because at the end of the day, I've got no interest in playing a Doom multiplayer. So I'm very much in the agreement that give me a longer campaign that's with more detail and more time killing bloody demons. I don't give a shit. I'm happy with that.
Another game, if it's live service, is it PvP? Or what are they doing to make it live service?
Well, that was the thing. They said they were going... here we are. Fans know more than ever about Doom the Dark Ages after Xbox Developer Direct, including why the game won't include a multiplayer mode. Basically,
not multiplayer in Doom makes sense. Doom has it ever been a multiplayer game?
I think it had some multiplayer elements. Let me check.
Nothing notable that like you think of.
Yeah, right? There was in Doom 2 2016. I reckon it'll be PvP. Yeah, it looks like it was. So yeah, that's all that would have been really. Oop, I do not care about that. Go away. You good, Will?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going quiet for a second there, and my internet was slowing down, so I was like, oh no. Oh no. So, yeah, Doom did apparently... It did have...
mustn't have been anything notable, to be honest, if, like, even you didn't think about it. You had a thought of a possibility, but, like, off the top of your head, you couldn't go, yeah, there was definitely a multiplayer mode or something like that, and even at that, I doubt it was really that popular. People probably tried it because it's Doom and Doom did really well, but otherwise, I doubt there was much interest. It's not... These games just aren't... Yeah, majority of these games, they're not meant for multiplayer.
even if they are, I've always made the argument, I will stand by it, and a lot of people may disagree on this, but it's my genuine opinion. I'd much rather have a single-player game that has co-op open to it, so that I can just bring a friend in and we can take the piss and have fun. I'd much rather do that than have any multiplayer mode.
One could say we're very biased when it comes to that, because it's all we ever want.
Yeah, but literally any game can be improved by just giving my friend access to join me and commit to the bullshit.
Oh, yes.
So we have the specs for Assassin's Creed Shadows. I thought we'd cover this before we get on to the last bit about the DLC, and then we'll be done for today. But here we go. So, PC specifications. So for selective ray tracing, then you got standard ray tracing and extended ray tracing. We're going to go by resolution and FPS, and what system specs you require for this. And we'll see if it gets stupid or not. So, for 1080p at 30 FPS on low settings, you need a i7 8th generation CPU, or a 8700K, or a Ryzen 5 3600, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1070, 8GB, AMD Radeon RX 5700, 8GB, or an Intel Arc 8GB GPU. For all of them, you need an SSD mandatorily, OS with Windows 10 or 11 OS with DirectX 12, and 16GB dual channel configuration RAM. That's pretty normal. Recommended specs: 1080p at 60 FPS, medium settings, i5 11th generation CPU, 11600K.
11th gen.
Yep.
Quite the jump then.
Isn't it just?
Oh my god, I should read the rest of it too.
Exactly. Ryzen 5 5600X, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 Ti, 8GB, AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT 12GB, or an Intel Arc B580 12GB.
When you read the minimum, even though it's abysmal for what you're going to be running it at, it sounded decent until it was a minimum 8GB card.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you can run it on older stuff. That's actually pretty decent, even if it's as bad as it is. But then the 8GB came up, I'm like, what?
Well,
doesn't really match the rest of the stuff.
I think it's just going to get a bit more amusing here because, like, at the moment I play at 1080p. I plan to go to a 1440p.
You seriously need to go. Honestly,
yeah, I know. I plan to.
You need to. If I had money, I'd fucking buy you one.
Whatever. But
I need to
same CPU.
Give you something, man.
Same CPU for high. Just need a 3080 10GB card for the enthusiastic 1440p high settings, or an AMD RX 6800 XT 16GB. But you can also get 4K out of it. You need a generation increase on CPU for each of them, it seems. A 4070 Ti Super 16GB, or an AMD RX 700 XT 20GB card.
And this is 60 FPS.
But the mad part is, you can go 1080p at 30 FPS high settings on the original CPU from low. You just need a 2070 GPU.
Yeah, just for ray tracing.
Yeah, but
so you basically just need, well, other than the 2060, I guess, you just need a ray trace capable card.
It just seems a bit odd, really, because that goes at high settings.
Yeah.
So why is? But for that. Yeah, do you see my confusion in this state? Like, someone might be able to explain a bit more in detail in one of the comments, so please do. But that just seems odd. You what, sorry?
Look at the next bit.
Yeah, this is ray tracing recommended now, this bit. So that's the 11600K, which is here, running at high settings. 1440p 60 FPS, so pretty much this area. 4070 Super 12GB. An AMD Radeon RX 7800 XT 16GB. Now, if you want to go ultra, just for shits and giggles, obviously, You need a i7 13th generation CPU, 13700K, AMD Ryzen 7 7800 X3D. Now, that's for either side of it, but your GPU is what matters here. If you want to run at 1440p at 60 FPS, you need a 4080 16 gig card. If you want to run at 4K 60 FPS, you need a 4090 24 gigabyte card. No AMD card will allow you to do extended ray tracing.
Yeah, and we're talking like obviously Extreme the 50 series because it's not obviously being tested that much. It's barely even out.
Yeah.
You're talking the current top card just gets 60 frames.
Yeah. Pretty much. It's
and only at 1440p to get 60 frames. You're talking what, second top from the looks of it? 48.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's all good fun, man. It's all good fun. Welcome to Ubisoft. I wonder if the game will even look well, to be honest, when it comes out. But I am intrigued, I must admit.
We
I
saw,
will keep my eyes on
didn't
it.
we see a very small gameplay trailer?
Yes, a while ago we did.
Did we not see one last week? Or was that something else?
That was something else.
We saw something. What was that then? Now I'm curious.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to have a
We'll
look
have
back.
we'll have to have a nosy after this.
But yeah, I'm a bit shocked by that, to be honest with you. We don't even know the
It's
file size
not,
actually.
like, yeah. Oh god. Hey, we've not had high hopes given the recent events with Ubisoft, but it's looking worse and worse.
There is actually nothing here for storage. File size is important, Ubisoft. So, next and final part for this episode. Assassin's Creed Shadows DLC details revealed. Assassin's Creed Shadows DLC Claws of Awaji or Avaji, I don't know. Provides over 10 hours of new content, including new region and weapon type. Game delays have allowed Ubisoft Quebec to polish Assassin's Creed Shadows with positive hands-on previews. The expansion developed by Ubisoft Bordeaux adds a new faction and quest for gamers who pre-order the main game. Why?
Can I hear that again, please? I don't think my brain could.
The last bit, or sorry, I'll just start from the middle. Don't worry. Game delays have allowed Ubisoft Quebec to polish Assassin's Creed Shadows with positive hands-on previews, and the expansion.
We've seen nothing so far of the game. So
very little, yeah.
We don't even know what's going to be in their eyes polished.
Yeah. The expansion developed by Ubisoft Bordeaux adds a new faction and quests for gamers who pre-order the main game.
So you have to pre-order to get more content, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty normal. With almost 2 months until Assassin's Creed Shadows is set to launch, Ubisoft has already revealed details about its first expansion. The upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows DLC is titled Claws of Awaji, bringing over 10 hours of new footage, new game. Yeah. The lead up to Assassin's Creed Shadows release has been fraught with controversy. It has been met with several delays, and Ubisoft seemingly desperate to nail this one, especially given how its recent struggles with titles such as Star Wars Outlaws. Don't we know it? So apparently the game is coming out on March 20th. Giving Ubisoft Quebec a little extra time to polish off some things.
That was with already a few months delay.
Yeah. I mean, apparently people have got their hands on it, like game journalists, and they're giving pretty good reviews, so that's fair, but I don't trust game journalists, to be honest with you. There have been a prime example, the game I played 2 years ago that I can't name. That game was really loved by game journalists. I couldn't stand it. I still can't to this day.
In general, a terrible game.
Yeah. So that's just one of the crazy ways things can go at times. I just don't understand why they've decided to drop this. That's not all, though. It's been confirmed that the expansion has been developed by Ubisoft Bordeaux, the studio behind Assassin's Creed Mirage. That one I actually did enjoy. It was just a bit short. This frees up Ubisoft Quebec to focus on polishing the main content of the game prior to release. No exact date has been given for the launch of Clause, beyond a vague later in 2025. Players who pre-order the game will get another perk too, alongside the Claws of Oagi expansion. Gamers who pre-order Assassin's Creed Shadows will get access to the Throne to the Dogs bonus quest upon release. The launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be an important moment for Ubisoft. After the struggling sales of Star Wars Outlaws, the company needs a win. Pinning its hopes on its flagship franchise in Assassin's Creed, it will certainly be interesting to watch. I'm not sure if they're making a good idea or a bad one with this, to be honest, but hey ho, we will see. Good old Ubisoft being Ubisoft. There's just so much that you can say about them. They're not the smartest of people, but you just kind of hope that they make a right decision.
They've been quite a big topic for us to talk about the last while, given everything going on with them and how downhill they're going.
Oh, 100%.
So
They've made so many fucking mistakes.
Too many for what kind of company they are. Like they were one of the biggest names, and look at the state of them at the moment.
Exactly that.
This really could be like a sort of last chance situation for them.
Yeah, I mean there is
especially
also
being one of their biggest titles.
Yeah, I mean at the same time though there is also the side of it to think about where they're also considering doing something with Tencent. Tencent seems to be mentioned a lot around Ubisoft at the moment because what they were looking into purchasing them. Then there was the extra thing that they may go into business together on, stuff like that. It's all up in the air. It's all very questionable, but we'll have to wait and see for more details. But it's definitely interesting. But with that, I think I've got through everything, so that's no problem. So is there anything you would like to add, sir?
I think there was something I was thinking of at some point, but I don't even know anymore, man. It's been
It
a
just
lot to
fried your
take in
head.
this time.
Oh yeah, there
Ubisoft
was a
is
lot.
just I'm anxious for Ubisoft releasing this, man, and we still gotta wait till the 20th of March, was it?
Yeah.
That's been quite a topic for us.
Oh, hasn't it just? It's been the same pretty much all year.
Yeah. So it's just anticipation. And what's sad to say is lately there's not really been anticipation for a game. It's
No,
stuff like this that we're
it's
waiting
the
to hear
drama.
about. Yeah. And that's sad to hear.
Oh, 100%. But with that, I think we shall end this episode here then. So, thank you all very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, feel free to like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And we will see you all next time. Bye for now, guys.
Good one, guys. See you next week.